too often people go into the work looking to say, yes, I've got an EVP, I've got a new employer brand, and they are blind to the work that comes after you have the foundation of the EVP and the brand and the work that is required to sustain it and grow it and start to really shift.
Welcome to Blue Thread Conversations, where we dive into all things employer brand, recruitment marketing, and workplace culture. Stacey Parker and Leandra Harris, co-founders of Blue Ivy Group, have spent over 20 years helping some of the world's biggest employers craft brands that truly connect with talent. They're here to share real stories, fresh ideas, and a little laughter along the way. Whether you're an expert working in the industry or just curious about what makes great workplaces tick, grab your coffee and join them as they explore how employer branding can drive meaningful change for businesses, for talent, and for the people working in an industry they love. In this episode, Stacey and Leandra discuss the employer brand and culture trends of 2025 and how employer branding will be embraced as a key driver of cultural alignment, employee engagement, and business growth. When organizations shift their employer brand strategies from a solution exclusively designed for talent acquisition to one that is also a catalyst for cultural alignment, a monumental impact on business outcomes and measurable results will occur, impacting talent attraction, engagement, loyalty, and brand reputation. To see the complete list of Blue Ivy Group's employer brand and culture trends for 2025, and to learn more about our services, visit blueivygroup.com.
Hey, girl. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Did you have a good break?
I had an amazing break. It was, I think, the first time in forever that I packed every single day of the 2 weeks off with either friend events or family events. And I realized how much I need that in my life this year. It's just way more time with friends and family. How was yours?
Same.
Yeah.
Same. And slept, which was lovely.
Good.
Right? Like the
Good.
basics.
That's a good sign for this year.
Yep. Sleeping, eating out, reflecting, spending lots of time with friends and family. So
yeah. Did you have a big moment over the holiday that stood out?
Yeah, a lot. The same as you, right? And I know you and I, because we're besties, have chatted over the holidays. It's just, realizing how important friends and family are and spending more time with them, as well as allowing me those moments to unplug and to reflect, right? And to think. What about you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the whole thing with my husband's side of the family and meeting my father-in-law's new girlfriend to see this love blossom in their late 80s and meet all of their family. It was really so special. And it kind of reminds you that there's a lot that we have. There's a lot of roadway that we still have.
Yes.
Because sometimes I think both of us are so we got to get it done. We got to get it done. We got to get it done. There's such urgency. It's really nice to just watch people start fresh with love and new family.
Yeah.
In their mid 80s.
Yeah. I love that. I think we have to have a separate podcast, can we, following this love story?
100%. 100%.
But I am I think you, Stace, we did this last year. We spoke about trends, and I feel so differently about this conversation. I'm really excited to have this chat with you. I don't know how you feel, but I feel different, clearer, more excited. But also I think there's so many unknowns there that are out there, right? And it's going to be challenging but fun. So I'm really excited to have this conversation with you.
Yeah, same. I'm really curious. What makes it feel more exciting for you this year?
I think it's the unknown, all of the things that people haven't figured out, right?
Yeah.
Our world of work is evolving so rapidly.
Yeah.
And there's so much talk about AI. And the beautiful thing is this is happening. It's happening at a rapid rate, but oh my, do we ever need to focus more than ever also on the people? We
Yeah.
can't forget the people. We can't forget, right, that human
Yeah.
element. So I think it's such an exciting opportunity for us to kind of remind our clients and other organizations that please don't lose sight of your people.
I love that. And I like so agree with you. I think when I look at actually the last 2 years, there
Mhm.
was this serious compression in the employer brand space because so many over, 2020 to 2023 looked at it as just a recruitment marketing solution.
Yes.
And I think the economic shifts that we had over the last couple of years, the addition of AI really did make people question
Hmm.
the full value. And when I look at why we started the business in the first place,
Yes. Yeah.
your background as a CHRO, like the way you look at employer branding is from a CHRO lens.
Hmm. Hmm.
And for you, so much of that is about engaging talent and making sure that there's a promise that's being lived. And over the last couple of years, because of the changes that have happened in the business, I really do see that so many organizations are now asking, how do I make this a part of my culture? How do I integrate it? So it feels like we're getting back to some much more meaningful,
Yes.
impactful reasons to use employer branding in the first place.
Yeah. When you look at the trends, Stace, because I have there's a couple that
The
are,
ones that stand out,
yeah, that are really near and dear to my
for
heart. But
sure.
is there one that, which one is,
Which one?
yeah, would you
I don't
say
think
is,
there's one. There's
okay.
probably like three that
Yep.
really stand out. The first one is the trend on leadership
Mhm.
getting much more involved as champions and stars of the employer brand. Um, it was disheartening over the last few years when we'd start employer brand projects and there would be this need to protect. Don't get our leaders involved. They're
Yes.
too busy. They're too busy. I don't want you to talk to them. Can you get it done without them? And then, what would in turn happen is one, leaders aren't deeply connected to the EVP other than approving copy.
Yep.
Two, leaders are not going to champion it because they haven't been a real part of it. So it becomes this external, exactly what people don't want, an external facing on your career site, on your content marketing, on your job posting kind of initiative. And it's not driving the real impact that it can if your leaders are a part of it, if you're really embedding it that way. And then
Mhm.
I think the other thing, and we've talked a lot about this, is that leaders have been really impacted by the last few years, the sheer volume of work that's been put on them, the
Yes.
stress, and there's a serious drop in engagement for a lot of leaders. I mean, it is the most crisis focused area is retention and engagement of leadership. And I think, there's been such a focus on making sure we've got value propositions and messaging for each function within the organization. But what about leaders? Like, what's in it for them? Why are they joining? Why are they staying? What are they really excited about? It's time to use the employer brand to help them feel the pride that they used to,
Yes.
or that they deserve to have because of the work they put in.
Yes.
So that excites me, building really powerful employer brands that include the leadership in the messaging, include them in the creative, and make sure that they feel a part that what they do has a measurable impact on the employer brand and employee experience.
And I love, and what I want to see more of, Stace, like our team, as you know, when we work with a client and we look at what they're doing versus their competitors, we're now looking at the C-suite.
Yeah.
And if these organizations are out there saying, we're a great place to work, we have an amazing culture, and the only messaging that's coming from the C-suite level is all about their corporate brand and targeted towards the client, which is important, but nothing about the culture,
Yeah.
that says something,
Yeah.
right? It says something.
Yeah.
So I think I'm excited. I think leaders have gone through a lot, but I think many leaders have also forgotten to lead, right? And so I'm looking forward to kind of supporting our clients and working with leaders so that they can kind of find their voice, connect with the culture, and remember why they became a leader and why it's so important and what people need from them. They need
Yeah.
them to be empathetic. They need them to be transparent, authentic, and
Mhm.
lead the way. So I
Yeah.
think now more than ever, we need leaders.
Yeah.
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 Agree. And I love what you just said about like connecting to the why they're
Yes.
leading in the first place and understanding what's it like, why do their team members, why have they joined? Why do they stay? What matters most? Like what is in it for them to be there
Yes.
every day? So as we're painting these ambitious roadmaps for the year ahead, how do you connect what really matters to your team
Mhm.
to what those goals are and really simplify the messaging? And I love that the employer brand can do that.
Yes.
I think that connects to the other one that I'm really excited about, and that's been the shift in using EVP as a part of the culture strategy.
Right.
And from the get, I remember, back some 12 years ago when we would build the EVP as a part of that mission, vision,
Yes.
values, customer value proposition, so that you do have this holistic culture story.
Mhm.
And making sure that leaders use that in all of their communications, that it becomes a really clear narrative of how employees and their experience is a part of the entire strategic plan.
Yeah. I like that. And I think linked to that trend, Stace, is the fact that many organizations are now starting with and taking better care and putting more thought into launching the EVP internally first, right? Like, and I appreciate that. It's smart. So taking the time to make sure that the leaders are not only kind of pushing it on them, but kind of collaborating with the leaders. This is a commitment that we need to make as an organization to our people in order to increase productivity, retention, improve the overall experience, attract amazing talent. But I think it's smart to kind of collaborate with leaders, take the time to ensure that that EVP is experienced internally and lived. So that way, when you do talk about it through media campaigns on your career website, social media, it's authentic and it's real.
Yeah,
Because you and I know, I mean, there's a lot of organizations that need to rebuild that, right?
yeah, yeah. Trust is at an all-time low right now. Yeah, and I personally have such a love for internal employer brand launches.
Yes.
I think it should be a mandatory for organizations. You're building an employee value proposition, asking employees to partake in workshops and
Yeah.
surveys. What matters most to you? What do you value? Why do you join and stay? And then there's this missed opportunity when we talk about using your EVP to drive engagement to now say, hey, listen, you helped us build this value proposition. What does it mean to you? How would you, now that you see it in writing, now that you see the pillars, now that we're sharing with you what we understand you would like to see more aligned in your employee experience with this, how does this feel?
Mm.
And like getting them to see the creative, getting them to even be a part of selecting the last couple of
Yes.
options in the creative so that they really see that this employee value proposition is for them. It's not just for recruiting, it's for them. That co-creation and launch
For sure.
is so important. There's
Yep.
too many companies in the past few years that have launched it, but just done it externally. And if you ask employees internally, they don't know what it is, save
Yeah.
for maybe a few HR and brand ambassadors.
Yeah.
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 And
So I
we've seen
know.
great results. Like, gosh, Madame
Yeah.
had such an incredible impact on their employee net promoter score. We've seen it time and time again. I know a couple of other big tech firms this
Mhm.
past year have had unbelievable results.
Yeah. And I think that's hopefully too this year, Stace, more of the people that we work with realize that this has to be more than just checking it off a list, right? Like, because a lot of clients will get so excited by that. Okay, we've taken the time to listen to our employees. We now understand what matters most to them, and we understand the connection between delivering on this promise to your employee and rebuilding trust and productivity and engagement and retention. But so many are then stuck, right? Because they're overworked, they're burnt out. And it can be quite complex because, another trend is the fact that an employer branding strategy, it's a long-term strategy, and it's a cross-functional strategy. I mean, we've worked with big organizations over the past year and putting together, yes, these complex RACI charts, but at the end of the day, it takes a massive team to do the important work that's required, right? To build a really strong employer brand internally and externally.
Yeah. 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 And I think I was listening to some of our peers in the industry, and they were talking as well about just how important it is that as leaders in the space, you're really clear on what are we trying to drive in terms of measurable results? Why are we doing this in the first place? We're not just doing this to
Yes.
get an EVP.
Yeah.
What is this EVP going to drive? Why do we have it as a foundation? What is the employer brand going to shift for the company in the next 12 months? But too often people go into the work
Mhm.
looking to say, yes, I've got an EVP, I've got a new employer brand, and they are blind to the work that comes after you have the foundation of the EVP and the brand and the work that is required to sustain it and grow it and start to really shift.
Yeah.
And we know that it's going to shift in a much more real time fashion in the next year or
Yes.
so, just because of what's happening in the marketplace.
And you and I can also be real too, Stace. Like, we are co-founders of Blue Ivy Group, and we've experienced the same thing. We
Oh, yeah.
believe in the power. We've seen over and over the incredible things that an EVP can do to an organization. But we've gone through the work ourselves, right? And have uncovered, and we've learned lessons and made mistakes internally when it comes to building your culture and building the EVP and making sure that it is lived and experienced every day. So
Yeah.
I love that we can both help clients and, learn ourselves. And there's always, room to be better for sure.
If you look at the last year, which was happy to put that in the rearview mirror.
Yep.
But if you look at that last year, the number of times that the two of us could come back and say, okay, wait a minute, what is our EVP?
Yes. Yep.
How are we living that right at this moment? And what else can we do to be more authentic to what we've committed to? And I think whether it was from a people experience, a messaging, a strategy perspective, I feel like that foundation, those pillars that are so important in an EVP, they do pull you back. They do help you make strategic decisions, whether you're a small organization or a global enterprise. They are the kind of the foundation of how you deliver the experience.
For sure. And connecting, right? Like to what
Yeah.
you're, those moments where as a leader, it can be, you've got so much on your plate, but knowing, once again, turning to that EVP during those times when I need to focus on my people and this is what they need right now.
Yeah.
So agreed.
Yeah. And for our team to be able to call it
Yes.
out as well and say, hey, those EVP pillars, we want to bring this forward to you. And
Yes.
we've experienced that within our organization. And then just listening again to trends, there's one tech firm that I just loved the experience with this past year. And they took that EVP and made it the employer promise.
Yes.
And
yes.
they have, that work has had such a significant impact. Again, their employee net promoter score, their engagement scores all went up. They saw that they won a number of best workplace awards just months after having launched it as that promise. And what the client really said is that the CEO really got it. They get it when it's about the promise and how this is going to shape the culture. And there's so much more legs that the EVP can have and the brand can have if you're not looking at it just that recruitment marketing space. But I do think recruitment marketing and media,
Yeah.
I'm so passionate about that. There's just the work of job boards alone is not enough. As
Yeah.
there's, of course, there's like so much value in job boards and programmatic job board advertising, but the world is shifting dramatically and it needs to be omni-channel, all social. There's so many different social platforms right now, boosted content, user-generated content. So the way we look at employer branding today is going to shift dramatically in the media and recruitment advertising space. There's a lot of great AI tools, but I think the strategy is really what matters. And I think a lot of organizations that we talk to are still looking at it very much from just a key job board, maybe
Mhm.
LinkedIn lens. And in that way, it's only the biggest spenders that can win. And that long-term brand awareness building, the differentiation building can be more challenged. So, this year, I think we're going to see a lot more companies use their personas,
Mhm.
use all of the great key messaging about your EVP and differentiators, and start to target that 75% of people that are not actively looking for work and start to build long-term relationships. We heard time and time again this year, it's not about the volume of talent that I need for
For sure.
applications, it's the quality. And the way we get at quality is connecting to that 75% that aren't actively looking.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that drives us crazy sometimes, right? When they do all this work
Yeah.
and they've uncovered their story. And then, yeah, you just can't rely on posting that on,
Your own
job boards and LinkedIn and
your own
you,
social
exactly,
platforms, it's
exactly.
not gonna shift. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, so there's one more that I know you're really, really
I know.
passionate about.
Close it. Obviously, I mean, I'm excited about like many of them, like you, Stace, but I think, yeah, for sure, AI. We can't, we started with AI, let's close with AI and its impact, right? I think it's something that's been near and dear to our hearts, you and I, um, since we founded Blue Ivy Group. And that's making sure that our clients, the people that we work with, have the tools and the information to measure the impact of this work. And not only measure the impact of this work, but also predict important things like turnover, productivity, client satisfaction. So that's something that we've been working with developers, and we've got our own internal awesome team, and we've created a tool that we're just really thrilled to use with our clients to help them measure the impact of this really important work.
Yeah. And it's so meaningful to be able
Mhm.
to talk to HR leaders and give them the tools to sit with the C-suite and show how the employer brand is actually having an impact on the overall company reputation, the overall kind of brand share of voice and preference. So that they're seeing that your employer brand is about far, far more than attracting talent. It really is about shaping perceptions of who you are as a place to work.
And helping, like, if this still happens, and I can't believe it, spoke with an HR leader recently, and they were in a board meeting and shares are down. The business is having challenges. The HR leader was given 5 minutes because in the board's mind, they didn't feel that, that they had value, right? To things to share. It was more about, okay, what can we do to increase sales? What can we do,
Mhm.
right? To increase client satisfaction, all important. But what's also important is productivity. There are things, really
Yeah.
important aspects, right, that HR leaders can influence and impact, and our tool will help with that. So
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
excited about that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know we've got some incredible stories over time where we've
Yeah.
worked with CEOs and CHROs and pulled out this direct trend line to engagement,
Yes.
employee experience, customer
Customer
satisfaction
satisfaction. Yep.
scores, market share growth scores. Like you see the direct correlation.
Yes.
And so it's really powerful to be able to help give those tools to clients now and show them that the employer brand is driving productivity, is driving the sales that are so important.
Okay, Stace, I think we should end with one word. I know, really putting you on
Oh,
spot. Like, what's that one word? Because we had our team kickoff yesterday and everyone shared, and it was so inspiring. Gosh, we're so lucky to have amazing people working on our team. Thank you,
yeah.
Blue Ivy Group. But what's one word? Stace, we heard so many that you're really going to be all about 2025.
Well, it's health for me.
Yep.
And it's health for our clients, making sure that the work that we're doing is really helping to elevate the health of the HR department, the health of the organization, making that connection. And then it is that for me as well. It's making sure that I don't take on too much this year, but really focus on what the essentials are that are going to drive the greatest impact. How about you?
I love that. Balance.
Yeah.
Balance. And just, I think it can apply, personally, balance, bit of a workaholic, I admit it. And also balance in the way we approach our work and helping the clients, right? And making sure, because it's so many areas that you can touch in employer branding.
Yeah.
And making sure that we partner with our clients to ensure that they're, well connected, well informed. So yeah, I'd say balance.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
Well, I
right.
want to, this is the first time that we've done a video record.
I know. Oh my gosh. And we got to call out
Yes, Story Fora.
Story for
Our new partners who have been absolutely amazing and making us comfortable
Yes.
doing this on camera.
Thank you.
They've been amazing. So thank you very much. And I'm excited to do this.
I know. And Stace, we're going to have some guests this year.
We
right?
are. We're going to
gonna
have
have
some
guests.
clients come in.
Yes.
We're going to have some industry experts come in as well. We've heard a number of requests from clients and that they want to hear from industry partners. They want to hear best case studies. So we're going to bring a lot of that to the table this year.
And I would love one day, Stace, I want to be together on video.
Yeah, let's do
Right?
it with
Let's
a glass
do
of
it.
wine in hand.
With a glass of wine in hand.
As I just talk about my health. So maybe we'll do it Q2.
We'll work on that.
Well, thank you. This was really good. And I am very excited about 2025. I see a different momentum happening.
Yeah.
I feel like the conversations with organizations are way more elevated. And I think even as an industry, all of our competitors are really elevating the game in terms of how they're talking about the impact of employer brand. So just like industry wide, I feel very excited about the shift that's happening right now.
Same. Well,
Thanks.
Here's to us, Stace, an exciting year. And here's to everyone. Wishing you all an amazing, happy, healthy, balanced 2025.